Welcome everybody. Okay, so in about 1 minute, we're gonna get this party started. So if you're joining us now, make sure you share a link. Make sure you share a link with a friend. Make sure you share a link with a friend. Whether you're joining us on YouTube, YouTube is where everybody knows that we gather. But I'm also streaming to this market watch as well on YouTube. So people on YouTube can also watch us live, unlike before, as well as TikTok. So in about 1 minute time, we're gonna get the party started. So what I will expect from you is do well, share this link with your friends, share this link with other members of our community. Tell the market watch is live. Last year we called that the market is going to create a new all-time high. It did, and I think that anybody who is smart enough should be back here. Let's find out, let's assess what does the market does next after hitting an all-time high. Have we topped? Yeah, a lot of conversation. Have the market topped? Have the market topped? Let's find out. So it's not necessarily about what does Mr. Gilbert thinks. It's about let's assess the valuable data together. So in like I did say in about a minute's time, we're gonna get the party started. So do well. Invite your friends, invite other members of our community, tell them we're live, and they should join us. All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad to be here. This is quite an amazing new investing and trading week. I always look forward to Mondays, and why I look forward to Mondays is because it's always a great time I connect with you guys, in one place where I assess the valuable market data. So we look at the three market events we should watch out for, and also we'll look at some technicals. So quite a while now, Mr. Anthony hasn't joined us. But then he does more of different tokens. I like looking majorly at macro trend and staying clue to macro trend. I want to know my major goal as an analyst, as the lead analyst here in the Smart Investors Lodge is I always want to know, has the bull run ended? Have we topped? Are we still in the middle of a bull market? Or have the bear market started? It's my major goal. I look holistically at the general view of the market, and that's why I always like Anthony to be here so that he could do a lot of the breakdowns, of smaller micro time frame. But then I've been doing lots of that. And so before we get this party started, you guys, you know how we do it. If you're watching live, go to the comment section and type live. If you're watching replay, you know what to do. Type replay. Let me look. Let me see how many persons we have here. If you're watching me live, type live. If you're watching a replay, just type replay. So you're welcome once again to Market Watch Live with Gilbert Joekpata. So what we do in Market Watch Live is on Mondays we always here where we give you more like an outlook for the market. We give you the three market events you should watch out for that will bring the most volatility to the market. Sam is live, and Sam is live from YouTube. Great to know we have people from YouTube. Udoma Junior is here live. Okay, great. Oluwadamilare is also watching live from X. Great to know we're having people from X. Typically we only go live here on YouTube, but I love the fact that likely we may have some persons also watching live on TikTok. If you're watching live on TikTok, come just let me know live. Let me know live. Let me know how many persons. Olua Sei is live right here on YouTube. We have. Okay, GM. All right, so without further ado, and don't forget, if you're watching live, if you're right here with me, if you're watching live, type live. If you're watching the replay, type replay. So without further ado, let's look into the three market events we are watching out for. There are lots of interesting activity happening today in the market that I so wish maybe we were doing more like five market events you should watch out for. There are just so many. From we have more like the balance sheet is coming out this week. There is the Jackson Hole Symposium meeting is also happening this week. There are just so many major macroeconomics events. However, I was still able to bring the three major that should bring the most impact to the market this week. So top on our list is Unstoppable is set to list Monero XMR today, Monday, 18th of August 2025. Why is this so interesting? We remember the story that happened last week. I was able to break it down for you guys in a simplified form. There's a lot of technical jargons here in the market, and especially when it's coming from innovators, when it's coming from software developers, they may think that they are expressing what happened in simple terms, but it's always very complex to people who are not developers. So I took my time to break down what happened to Monero. So what happened to Monero last week? Cubic, and this is very important. I want you to listen to this because the next market event is also very important. So last week, Cubic took over 51% of Monero's chain. Remember, right? And how did it take over? It was not through a hack. It was through, they just wanted showing the world what their new computer was capable of doing. So what they did was that they were incentivizing people on the on the Monero blockchain with higher rewards than what Monero was giving. So a lot of persons went towards them for mining. So after a while, they were able to control over 51%, which was a takeover of the blockchain and the network. And they were like, no, our goal was just to prove a point, and show you what our Quebec what our computer was capable of doing. And they said they are more than willing to continually provide the services they were providing. And then it brought a lot of questions to what is the future of proof of work blockchain. A lot of conversation was taking place. So I also talked about I think I can shake this off. And I think that the shakeouts that will happen will be short-term investors, but long-term investors will not be out. And I think the fact that Unstoppable is listing the Monero today, what Unstoppable is a crypto wallet, a major crypto wallet. And they made this announcement after Exodus. I think most of you here should know Exodus. Exodus is a very major cryptocurrency wallet that a lot of you here should know. After Exodus announced that they'll also be listing Monero today. So this is big news. This is big news that despite what happened, we still have wallets who are more than willing to want to list their coin. And of course, this made it into major significant events for this week. I saw it made it to the major significant events that will be happening this week. Mrs. UD, great seeing you here. Mrs. UD is watching us live. I also see Connects. Greetings, 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 all of you. So I think this is major. This is major. So this news made it into the major crypto event with significant impact this week. However, I think that if this impact is going to play, is going to be short-term impact. The impact is going to be short-term. I don't think it's going to give us that massive, whatever kind of impact. It's going to be short-term, expected, and why? It would have been different if uh, it was exchanges listing Monero. But of course, I know that this being listed in wallet means that millions of new users are gonna get exposure to this token. But then, if it were an exchange, it would have been quite different. But this is quite a milestone. And then second on our list, some of you would have been wondering why I don't have a flyer, that would put all of that in. But This is how we do it. Regardless, we always here to give you the major news you should watch out for. And second on our list, happening Wednesday, is Quebec. Don't forget, Quebec was the was the blockchain computer that took over the Monero's blockchain. You remember? Yes, Monero, that is going to be listed on two wallet. So on Wednesday, Pubic will be having its halving, similar to Litecoin halving, similar to Bitcoin halving. So Pubic is having their halving. So what happens during halving? Mining rewards get cut into half, a major tokenomics shift that could spark bullish momentum if demand holds always happen. So halving like these are deflationary. So inflation is when it happens more when more tokens are added into the market or the supply gets increased. Deflation happens when the total supply, or available, what could be available decreases. So halving like this is a deflationary activity happening, which I believe with a large level of certainty that after proving what their computer is capable of doing just last week, and halving like this, your guess is as good as mine. I think holding Quebec for the next phase of this bull run is a smart idea. And then, last but not the least, on the third market event we're watching out for is the U.S. initial jobless claim. The U.S. initial jobless claim. So the last previous number we had was 224 k, which is 224,000. But there is a forecast that we're going to have about 125,000 new jobs added into the economy. So a higher than expected print would actually fuel expectations that the Fed will start cutting rate by September. I shared this list. Let me see if I could easily find this list here. Oh, I think that list is on X. Those of you on X could just go there and find out. Just go on X and find out. I made a total metrics and assessment of expectations for rate cuts by September, and let's look at it. So we'll not waste the time anyway, but it's there on X. I really wished I could share that screen. So there's a larger expectations, even though some people are cautious that we're gonna have rate cuts, by September. However, some people are still cautious, and I also think as a smart investor, even though the available data inclines us towards rate cut, you should be stayed by careful because one thing that is certain in the market is that there is no certainty. If there is one certainty that you should capture as a smart investor is that there is no certainty. So when you take action led decision, when you take signal based decisions, you should all look out for the downside. So the downside is your risks, is what you will take as risk management. So we want with a large certainty if the job numbers look strong, it's going to be bullish enough and it's going to give us a higher level of confidence that we're going to have rate cut by September. And you know, I'm going to talk much and deeper with what this outcome could mean as we dive deeper into a more technical side of the market. So what time is it already? It's almost 14 minutes. I was thinking I will spend shorter time than today than I'm already looking to spend. But then I think in the next 5 to 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, I'll be done here. So just hang on with me. Let's do a little bit of technicals together. So today, what we're gonna assess is more like, are we stay bullish? What's happening? Educrypt, great, great, great having you here. I see you, I see you, I see all of you amazing people who are part of our amazing community. So we remember last week. We remember last week. I think this was the last chat we had here last week, where we showed you that our expectations after we came out of this more like a descending grind line, which is okay. I wanted to be sure you guys are with me and could see what I could see. So if you can see my chart, go to the comment section and just type I can see or you see. You know, most time I'm always talking to myself, so I want to be sure everyone is with me. If you can see, just type I can see or you see or drop an emoji of an eye. Please let's do this fast. Don't waste my time so that I'll be out here soon. I don't intend I waste time here. So if you can see my chart, looks like none of you can see my chart. Yeah, GM Mr. Anthony. Okay, connects can see. Oh, good, 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 good. Who else can? Okay, so something else. Where were we? Where were we? So this is where we were, and we called this, and we kind of captured this almost perfectly. So we broke out, had this retest, and came here, which we printed a new all-time high. We got to a new all-time high for Bitcoin. However, what happened? Let's assess this together. You know, I always like us to do this together. So what happened after this? And we'll remember when I told you guys that it was a shakeout, just like we also had here, we moved above the resistance. And like, nah, look, don't be shaken down, don't be like this. So when we look at what's happening here, typically you should expect that this support, right? But this time around we broke in. So let's look for something. Let's see if we could assess with some level of certainty what is happening here. Can it hold? Gap just got filled. This is a gap. Full gap. There is little to worry here. However, let's look into some bigger time frame and see what does the market uh, tells us. What are buyers and what are sellers doing? We've really come from a long way. Those of you who have really followed us and, and things that we do here, you know. Especially this my chart. If I go back in history, you will see that we've captured every move from when 1617 we said it was bottom. Permit me. Let me capture levels and say some people who want to debate in there. Just drop me a message. So very much, if you look at what's happening, we are still in a very big macro bullish structure. So what's really happening here? Let me take this out so the clear this looks, for us, and you could see clearly. So we had inverted head and shoulder, but something happened here. We already have a localized stop, which is a localized resistance. So what then do when you capture, you just see very clearly what market is doing. So we're able to capture a bigger time frame area of value. This is a major area of value. So please, who can tell me what the market is doing? Feel free, let me know there on the comment section. Tell me. It's open. I think it's quite visible for us to see. The market is in a range. So this is a range. This is the range. Don't forget, this was a resistance that becomes support. This same resistance, this was a resistance before. But after we broke out to this point, this became support. And we even test the support here. So look at something. Why this was still perfectly in a flag, a descending grind line, which will lead to an upside potential. And even though when we looked at that 2 hour time frame, that looked like it was a breakdown, we noticed that on the 1 day time frame, this was part of an entire structure, and there was nothing special that happened. This was part of an entire structure. This was still part of its support. So even if Bitcoin tests 113K, it is still in a range. Okay, I can see a shot moving sideways. All we're doing is moving sideways. First of all, you could confirm we have a multiple on a bigger time frame, and right now we just formed the micro range. I think that I'm not sure how long we're gonna last here. However, one bullish trigger that I know, one very major bullish trigger that I know is going to be rate cuts coming by September. But as we expect certain numbers and as we go to the end of uh, of the month, two things can happen. One is rate cuts can get priced in. This is if with a larger level of certainty we get clues from Jerome Powell that of course, rates we're gonna have rate cuts. It could start getting priced in, so we could break out of this range, or some other kind of bullish news, whether it's from Donald Trump or some major institution buying. But then September is a very bullish month for Bitcoin, anticipating a large possibility of rate cut, which is going to move money from, a lot of money is going to come into risk on assets. So, regardless what happen, it's possible with this, but we're going to move range bound because typically we are in a range. So, how long are we going to? But I think that our time frame we're using for all of this. I just made tea, pardon me. So, regardless, I think we're going to see a long time for the future. But don't worry, allow me fix it, my friend. So, regardless, Bitcoin is on its way. Bitcoin is on a long awaited one. And I think once we break out of this place, seeing a 130 this time is gonna be easy, but we're gonna see 140, and it's still my view on a bigger time frame that we're gonna cross 140, 150 this particular bull run. We definitely will cross 140, 150 this bull run. But however, and sorry, I don't like how dirty my artwork here look. That was because I was trying to buy space for the future. Oh, good Lord. Look at time. I've spent more time than I should here. So these are my expectations for the market. This is not a bull run. This is not a bear market. I mean, this is not a bear market. We literally just range bound. We literally just range bound, and that is our projection for the future. So, what should you be doing as a smart investor? Within this period of the market, it's simple. It's simple. You just have to buy. Wow, we have. Okay, Udom I couldn't see. I see, but not so clear. Continue. Okay, good. Okay, some of you can see me. Good to know. We're having bigger numbers than we've ever had here before on our live. So all of you, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share it with a friend. And also, if you're watching from X, do well to give a follow. Do well to give a follow. So, what should you be doing? If you notice what happened the moment we had, let me not share some Ethereum chart. The moment Ethereum started having its sword, you started seeing some altcoin doing well. And then it reminds me a question that people keep asking, are we going to see all season? And I'm like, why should you ask me this question? We've answered this question many times, even had a live session here on YouTube where we broke it down all season, selective all season, why we're gonna not gonna see all season again. And when I mean why we're not gonna see all season again, I mean the kind of all season we've always seen before. Because what this means is that the number of tokens minted every week from pump.fun, that of Tron, that of BSC, and all of that. There are so many tokens that are competing with crypto's market cap. So we're not gonna ever see that everything pumps again. You're never gonna see everything pumps again. So you're gonna see tokens that are gonna move based on their market competence, or tokens that will always move with the current narrative and also trend. And these have to do very much like that's why I think that what we're going to experience this time around is going to be something that will look more like utility season. Utility season is what we're going to experience. And so for some of you who may you want to get vested, for the next phase of this bull market, and you want to be sure with a large level of certainty that you want to keep what you make, the Smart Investors Launch Premium channel is where you should be. There you will see what we're buying that are in line with the current market trend. And one thing that I could say is that if there is any team of analysts that would have proven to you that when it comes to price projection, they are great at what they do, it's right here at the Smart Investors Lodge. And so if you just don't want to make money during this bull run, but you also want to keep what you make, the Smart Investors Lodge premium channel is where you should be. And that's my time. And that's my time. And thanks all of you who made our time to join our live. And we're having the highest number we've ever had. And it looks like more number are coming from YouTube, from X. It looks like more number are coming from X. Are you serious? All right, guys. So this is my time. I hope you got value with the three market events we are watching out for. I want you to remember that these three market events are capable of bringing market volatility. So if you must invest, make sure you're investing and trading smartly. And also, these are anticipation, more like a general holistic overview of what's happening in the market. This is not the end of the bull market. We still have a lot of macro bullish technical structure being built on Bitcoin, just like I showed you in the chart I just shared. And also, we have a lot of macroeconomic triggers that could come from the tariff, tariff war easing. Some other trigger is going to be the expectation of a rate cut, which the metrics available metrics is inclining largely towards rate cut by September. Yes, we just have very few cautious here and there, but then with the large odds tells us that we are going to see some rate cut. So the bullish structure technically is in synchronym with a lot of macro events, macroeconomics events that is going to lead us to a very massive surge, coming ahead in the market. So regardless of what you do in the cryptocurrency market, make sure if you're investing or trading the market, make sure you're investing and trading smartly. Make sure you're subscribed to the Smart Investors Lord YouTube page. Make sure you're part of our Discord community. Make sure you share this video as well with your friend, Mr. Emeka. I see you. Greetings, everybody. And so that's my time. I will see you by Monday next week for another session of Market Watch Live. Take care, my friends.